brighter, smoking blasters, flaming wands. We're living in a fantasy world, great minds burning good against evil, testing moral bounds as we expand our minds. Gluttons for Geekdom!
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Gluttons for Geekdom. I'm Nick James.
Bobby Deuce.
I'm John.
So today we're going to go in a different kind of direction. As I was just enjoying this Sunday, noticed the kind of pattern on TV in the terms that like Kick-Ass was on and Hancock was on.
Hancock.
And it's both the idea of what would happen if a quote-unquote superhero was here on both levels of the superhero, and then like Big Daddy and how he kind of represented like the dark Batman-y real, how hard can a human being kind of train. But they went in their different kind of positions.
We're also going to talk about people who just actually don costumes and go out and help the community.
There are real life superheroes. So one of the big things, and I kind of want to start off with that, real life superheroes, it is a thing.
Yeah.
There was something on Netflix is when I first saw it. You can watch it on YouTube now. It's all on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
There's videos on YouTube, guys. And the last horse crosses the finish line. Yeah. Real life superheroes.
There's ads on YouTube.
Yeah.
Fucking ads. Remember when YouTube didn't have ads? Good times.
Yeah, but it was just badger, 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 badger. Have you seen the badger one? Yeah. What about the sneezing panda? Yeah. Michael Bartlett did this. And he goes around, and I think there's a few different cities. They seem to be definitely in New York for one of them, Florida, Salt Lake City. And it is people who take this to the extreme, dress up in vigilante costumes, and do what they consider a patrol. What was the name of the guy? He ran the Extreme Justice League, the one with the frog eyes.
I can't.
Mr. Extreme.
Yeah, he starts it by saying like, "Oh, one time we were on a patrol and this guy was beating up a girl and we didn't touch him, we didn't do anything, we just made sure." And the cops showed up and they said, "Hey, if you weren't here, there's a good chance we wouldn't have got him." And that's the most heroic thing that really happens. Even though it's kind of cool, we were discussing like, you don't fuck with crazy people, and you can't tell who a crazy person is. So it's cool that you cornered him, but if he had a gun, come on, guys, you really can't tell sometimes.
That's the scary part about it. That's the risk that they're taking, and they know they're taking that risk.
That's so incredible, though. Like, that's too much. I don't think they know.
Well, like I was saying before, like looking at the guy, like the way I don't want to like badmouth this guy, but because he's a real person, he does this stuff.
He blocked his face. We don't know his real name. He chose.
Mr. Extreme, was it?
I think.
Like his outfit was just the silliest looking thing in the world. With he had like black pads on and stuff.
Lots of green.
Lots of green, like a flimsy ass green cape that you would wear for like a.
And he stole the
kid.
NFL kind of logo and
That's
just
what I
put
thought it was originally.
XJL.
A football hat.
And there's like a bunch of stars. I mean, it's pretty much the same exact thing.
Silly looking guy, and it's like the thing is, when I looked at him, I could not take him seriously. And the thing is, but they were talking about what the type of stuff that like the training that he's had. He's like a white belt and was like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or some crap like that.
White belt, yeah.
White belt. Just
I
now,
mean, you see him running up a hill and he can't even do it.
and I'm like,
Just
okay,
not
I'm
a
like,
prime specimen
I'm like, guy,
He's
for
just gonna get
physical
himself
activity
hurt.
at all. Yeah.
I don't think he's really like thought through what he's doing with his life.
No, somebody pulls a gun, like, I know what to do. Like, because he does this one thing, and I
Yeah,
told you,
get
he's
shot.
got like that white guy kind of thing with no arms and the tactics of tearing out eyes and stopping your opponent within 2 inches. And
Captain
he
Insano.
does this thing where, like, literally he makes this weird noise likened to a dog finding its squeaky toy, and he's like shaking his hands and trying to get out of it. Like,
That's what
they
that guy
wouldn't.
did.
Well, that's what these books of tearing people, like, that's what he thinks. You know, I've read this book, so if something, I just don't think that he really has put himself to the limit of what actually is crazy out there. And in terms of
Let him,
comic book
like-
evil, somebody who looks at somebody like that and just shoots them for the fuck of it, that's not too far-fetched.
Well, he doesn't know he's dealing with.
He's a
It'd be
walking
worse.
target.
They could just knock him unconscious, take him somewhere, and
Have his way
you
with him.
know, I'm not gonna hurt you.
I can't wait to show you my toys. And again, like, crazy like that, do believe exists. So not saying that crazy like that would be like, this guy is handing out flyers, he's walking around with candles, lighting vigils, like, they wouldn't take him seriously enough. But still, the main thing that I got out of it is that for, like, every word that they said, there's 3 words that were stupid. Like I said, the whole thing's like an hour and a half, and if I had to edit it down into one good message, it'd be like 6 minutes long. And the fact that, is it wrong to want to help? No. To quote Batman, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
You don't have the training. And the costume itself, like you were saying with his, and then the other guy, like Zeta, it's basically the blue Superman. It's bringing attention to yourself while just walking or like patrolling.
Better off wearing like a ninja costume from
Yeah.
any Halloween store with a bulletproof vest on under.
Because the flip side of this was that Team Justice was actually a seen organization in America for fundraising, or whatever the right way to say that is. And they were people who like to dress up and be superheroes and give kids toys and give hungry people food and raise money and do this kind of thing. So you're like, okay, I understand that. And to wear a costume
At all times.
then would make sense at come to this event. But if you're just on the street doing it, you're making more of a show of yourself. And it's not about the fact that you're giving somebody food. It's that. I think that wearing a costume has to kind of be a tool. You can't make yourself a tool. Like, look at that tool. I feel like, come on down, it's
You
a
also
lot
have
of
to
fun,
serve
you know, where
food and, like,
you have to actually
like-
want to fucking help.
Yeah.
And understand that you will never catch the bald guy with the white cat stroking, like,
Yeah.
you're not going to be a superhero, pal.
And like one of the things they were doing, like the guy who actually did walk around just handing out sandwiches and shit, like to
he was walking around dressed like a hipster with his,
His name is
oral mask.
Life, yeah.
life, just handing out sandwiches to homeless people, which is a nice, noble thing to do. But I mean, like, if you're walking around dressed as a superhero, handing out sandwiches to people, I'd be like, hey, stop that guy. There's probably something wrong with that sandwich.
What is this guy up to?
Because it's
Bizarre.
crazy, bizarre behavior. Like, I
is.
wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust that at all.
Just reminded me of, you seen Role Models with Christopher Mintz-Plasse? It's also
Seen
funny
it.
because
I've seen
he's
it. I've
in
seen it once.
Kick-Ass. You know, it's just, you might want to ditch the cape in public. People tend to shy away from people with capes. And at the end, you know, it's be yourself and all that, but guys, no, if you wear a cape in public, it's a little off. And people will look at you. And I agree, just like, why is he wearing a mask?
Some
It's
people,
not Halloween. It's not Comic-Con, and I don't see like a superhero event or anything. What like?
Now, look at it this way. There were that one scene where you see I forgot his name, but he's the guy who actually like trained in martial arts and stuff with his red outfit.
1 second. He was Dark Guardian.
There you go, just like rocking red.
Really
knows
quick
martial
though.
arts.
like a Yu-Gi-Oh
The cops
card.
come up to him, and they go, "And who are you?" And you could tell there's that split section reaction where he's like,
Star-Lord, man.
"Oh God, I should tell him my real name, but I'm doing this," and he's gonna make Dark Guardian, and he's like,
I'm the Dark Magician.
he goes Dark Guardian, and the cop literally goes, "Dark Guardian, gotcha." And it's just like,
the guy.
Sorry to
he
interrupt you.
approaches like a guy who
This is the really crazy part. Yeah.
He has like he has him on camera and on tape of this guy that he approaches selling drugs from a bench in the park, and he approaches him and is like, "Yo, you're not going to be doing that. You got to get out of here." Like straight like. The dude, the balls on this guy were just ginormous. You have got to go. You're not selling drugs in my neighborhood.
Don't do
that type of
bad
stuff.
things.
I'm telling you to do this. Now you're gonna do it. And the drug dealer's like,
well, what's
nah,
funny is he
bro.
stands up and he's got like the Biff
hours.
moment where it's just like they look the same, and then he stands up and like this drug dealer could easily put his chin on top of Dark Guardian's head, and he doesn't back his shit up, man. He doesn't.
DDT.
So good for him, but like, dude.
Dark Guardian and the drug dealer are now in each other's faces, arguing with each other. Right then and there, I would have been like, turn around, walk away, because this guy could pull out a gun and cap your ass.
It's
right
just
then,
you're not.
right the
It's
fuck
not
there.
really helping.
Yeah.
And then let's say, you know, good for good's sake, he attacks you. You are the Dark Guardian. You take him down. These are my streets. You're not a cop. He can legally sue you. Whether he gets anything, it's still a process. There is no self-defense. I mean, it would take, it's not just like, thank you, citizen, but we must look the other way. They'd probably want to make an example of you. Like, hey, this guy did good, but do you not understand what a fucking idiot this was? Whether or not the guy probably had a weapon, they'd be like, he could have died.
He could have gotten
He
hurt.
was this 1% of like... He was literally the only person to ever do that. So if you try now, you're going to die. They'd have to make a big thing out of it because... Especially, too, when the people are going through their fucking weapons. I have a taser. I have bear mace. What gives you the right to carry bear mace?
That's a lawsuit. What if that guy wasn't selling drugs and he got maced, you know?
Yeah.
He got bear maced.
He got bear maced by the cops aren't going to have it.
No.
Which it's a pretty much a substance it's very stingy, and it comes in the form of a bear.
So,
He just flies out of the can like, oh God, it burst my eyes.
It's got a metal bear at the end of it. You swing him around.
A bear mace.
well, it reminds me of, what was it? Swing, Kung Pao. He had those kind of things that stuck in.
Yeah, but what happens after that is that he like gets his distance, and he's like, all right, you're not backing down. I'm calling the police. Okay. Smart thing to do. Call the police.
In my opinion, and the thing that I'm going to stand behind to make sure that we don't get sued either, in my opinion, in this world of this reality, the only real-life superhero acts that I condone personally and see can actually make a difference and help is donating your time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the soup kitchen thing, it is a real thing, and I'm sure there's places that could use the help, if not could use the cans, or I'm sure that, it's fucking 2016. Google, I want to help. Yes, I mean, there's no way that you can't. I'm pretty sure that donate your time. Hand out flyers. That is the only thing that the Extreme Justice League guy did, is that in his neighborhood...
What did his flyer say?
In his neighborhood, on a campus of a nearby school, there was somebody going around groping people. So the flyers that would have... The groper. The flyers that maybe would have gone on... What are they called? Like the kiosks in the middle of campus and student flyer and maybe an announcement overhead was then popped up to what amount of degree, we don't know by him going, hey... Even if he took it one block further,
It just brought that awareness.
it was a little bit extra. That cost him nothing, and that really did, like, guys, look at this.
You ever see Observe and Report?
Yeah.
Or like the Flasher?
The Zephyr pack was something of the guy who was just like, yeah, we asked homeless, what do they need? And it's like deodorant, toothpaste, just random stuff,
like
feminine.
Master Legend?
Yeah.
Master Legend.
Feminine ID bags,
Master
mail
Legend was
magazine, like
drinking
stuff like
beers.
that. Yeah, he was just slugging beers too, which is, like I said, why you'd want to edit it, because you want to believe he's really cool, but a hero's work is never complete without a good thirsty beer. Like,
Well, I mean, like,
is
the way
he
they-
out of his fucking mind? I can't tell if he's hamming it or not.
If you watched it, I mean, like,
It's just some hippie.
probably would, like, as far as editing goes, edit out any time he opens his mouth. Is that right? As soon as he opens his mouth, I'm just like, this guy is out of his fucking mind. And then he goes through one of his weapons, and one of his weapons
That's
is like
what I'm
a
saying.
fucking,
Yeah.
It's
like
just
a
some old
battery
nerdy.
ram.
Up until then, you
drunk
were like,
hippie.
yeah, that guy was kind of like eccentric, but he just talked about the perfect murder of killing somebody with an icicle, and your murder weapon melts. And it kind of makes sense. And now I'm just a little bit more afraid. Like, let's keep an eye on it. But anyway, the Zephyr pack, I think that's nice. Because, again, you know, to go through the evils of society, why not just give them the money? You know, there's always the old school kind of, he's just going to buy booze with it. And if it's not booze, drugs, and I don't know. What can somebody, it's
Probably just go buy cheap prostitutes with it.
I think I'd give him the cash then. And then to kind of get out of it a little bit more, bring up Highway Batman. It's one of the only things, he wasn't really hurting anybody. Just a guy drove around in a Lamborghini in a Batman outfit. Sign like, hi, I'm Batman, sick kid. You want to hang? Like, just
The guys that plant Honda are superheroes.
I fucking hate those two. That really didn't seem to be hurting anybody. Like I said, standing out in the costumes, walking around, was that hurting anybody? No, but I think you're putting yourself in unnecessary danger. And then the tough guys from New York with the bait.
Oh,
That's really playing a fucking slippery slope.
Gay bait. Way to put one of your friends' lives on the line.
Don't worry, bro. We're on skateboards like a block away. Some guy in a truck who hates fags has a baseball bat and like queer boom, and just like
one
it's
big
that
crack.
horrible
One
fucking
crack.
racism that comes out of
We were
nowhere.
talking about what's his face, Super, when he comes into the theater. All it took was
That's
that
all it takes.
one hit. Like,
You know,
almost
because
like
what
an
they're
in-face.
expecting is that amount of that amount of hate to be spread, and the fact that the hate is seen. Like, see that guy? Is he gay? He might be gay. I don't like gays. I should go beat him up. And like in the meantime, then your friend comes. Like, but the sense of just like, what if it was just some kid going by who threw a can out the window or just went boop, just for the fucking fun of it. Like, that is a really hard place to put your friend. Don't worry, we'll get him before he gets to you. Like, you did not see that coming? He was super fast, and he still died.
they're just crazy.
You just can't plan for everything, and I don't think that you really, truly know what you're putting yourself out there for.
I believe you.
So that kind
I
of
agree.
scares me.
Yeah.
It kind of scares me that super could happen as well. What was his name?
The Crimson Bolt.
Nice.
And it was just like a red suit with a bolt. Was it a bolt? I'm pretty sure it was a Crimson Bolt, yeah. And he walked around with a monkey wrench and pipe bombs.
I saw it once. Not that I didn't like it. I just don't know if it ever came up again in time to watch it.
It's on Netflix.
And it's. I remember going, okay, that was a weird way to look at it.
I enjoyed. That's why I was so excited for Guardians,
Yeah.
because I was just like, "Fuck yeah, man!"
But in terms of, like we were just talking about, Rainn Wilson gets cut off in line for a movie theater, goes to his car, switches out, comes out, and what's his big line? Something evildoer, and literally just fucking whacks the guy who cut him in line at the
He's like,
movies.
"Don't sell drugs.
Don't cut lines. Yeah, that's what it was. And hits them, and it's just the one where if you hit somebody in the head with the pipe, you can kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
John, do not do that.
Drops pipe. I wasn't gonna do anything.
Sorry, guys.
I was about to do it.
Next up into that world kind of gets dropped out, but I think is one of the funnest kind of in-betweeners of those two, if you will.
Okay.
It's Mystery Men.
Mystery Men? Nah, that's fun.
Because it is, there are cops, but, you know, they kind of seem to enjoy making fun of the superheroes, kind of like they did in the movie, too. Because they got the Scarlet Spider and extra super, whatever his name was. And they're like, all right, you know, do you have ID? Let me see it. And, hey, Spider Kid, do something cool. And, like, yeah, they're clearly making fun of him just because they have nothing to do. And in Mystery Men, they seem to do the same. So what was the Shoveler, William H. Macy.
William H. Macy. I don't remember it. I've only
Dan.
seen it once a long time ago. Isn't Kel in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the Invisible Boy or something.
Hank Azaria is the Blue
Oh,
Raja.
what's his name is in
Ben
that?
Stiller.
But he's not like one of the main guys. But isn't Dane Cook the waffle guy?
Waffle Man! Waffle guys are history. Been nice and crispy. And I'm running.
Oh, I gotta watch that movie.
But the big twist on that and is what Captain Amazing is basically just a low-grade Iron Man where they don't really explain the science, but he can fly. He's got like brass, and it looks like his punch would be more than the average punch. And he's got the bodysuit like a kind of Tim Burton thing. But it also looks like a NASCAR thing, like there's a Pepsi kind of thing. And when the movie starts, it's just like, come on, the Red Eye Gang. You know, you put away everybody else. It's just, I can't sell PR, and it's just become a giant game to them. And they let out one of the worst bad guys, thinking that they'd play the game, and he lost the game. When he lost the game, all you got is the Blue Raja and Mr. Furious and Kel and the Waffle Man, and
Janine Garofalo.
it's just something that, yeah, no, that wouldn't happen either. That really wouldn't happen. Like, it'd be nice, but a Frockulator is too much as well. Just the whole thing is like, it balances the act, I think.
I think it was just too silly.
I think that a man could learn to throw forks like that, though.
I'm sure. Like people
So
can,
between the core
there's the
three,
guys who can throw cards really well. I'm sure someone can throw a fork really
between
well.
the core three, yeah, all right, let me get a card thrower and he can throw forks. Like, I could buy that. A guy who's really good with the staff, take out the staff, here's a shovel. I could buy that. Mr. Furious would take a little bit more, like, he fights really good, but he screams for it. All right, he's just a good fighter, but we'll call him Mr. Furious, all right. But when you get to the farting guy, it's just like, all right, that's pretty fucking amazing that he knocked out everybody, but it was with farts. So that gives you the kind of, come on, take this seriously, but not too
He might
seriously.
have really, really, really bad farts. He might have some sort of like
Aim?
gastrointestinal thing that's going on, and this thing that maybe, like, you know, endangering his life, making his farts just like very like toxic to people. Like, they breathe, it knocks him out. But, you know, like 3 years down the line, this guy's gonna be in a coffin.
Gotcha. I love also all the bad guys in it. Like, there's the Susies, and it's all the Japanese guys, and then the rapping guys, and the frat guys. And can we bring the brewskis? Yes, you can bring the brewskis. It's just a silly all-around mess. But in a sense of it, I got the most from real-life superheroes in terms of the three main men at the beginning of that. Like, we're here to help, and they just make a mess out of things and kind of just step on their own feet, and we helped. And then after that, everything else is just like, no, you would have just all been dead if this was real world. Back to the real life really quick. The real thing that they harp on is the Catherine Genovese, which happened March 13th. Basically, this woman was attacked for a long time. Like, from the story, it kind of sounds like she was raped. And imagine how long it would take to rape, and like for a very long time was making a very lot of noise. And it confirmed 38 people heard it and ignored it. I'm sure somebody else will do something. That's fucked. So that's like, the Master Extreme guy. Did he have a dumb outfit? Yes. But those, Katie Genevieve's name was on there. 38 people, March, whatever the date was. Mm-hmm. And that's why, going back to like we were talking about with the Nighthawk guy too, like, should you approach a drug dealer like that? Hey, you gotta go. No. And do that? No. But I was thinking too, like, that's where you just start playing acoustic guitar. Just start playing guitar really loud.
You don't do anything about it yourself, but you don't call the cops either.
I'm watching this guy sell drugs. Okay. Like,
No,
when
I'm
you
talking about the 38 people who heard it.
oh,
They didn't do anything.
they didn't do anything.
Like, they didn't do anything themselves. Okay, I get that. You don't want to get caught in there and just be another casualty, but why not call the cops?
Well, who called? Who called?
I don't know.
Well, we'll find out. Yeah, it's
They
just.
just found the body.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, no, I can't call. You know what? If they find somebody else has to be calling, and it's just that shirk of responsibility. I can't be the one to do. Somebody's gonna do something.
Yeah.
And I think that's really relevant in the first Kick-Ass of when the Quicksilvers are getting robbed. There is that guy looking out, and the robber, what the fuck you looking at? And he closes it.
True. Yeah.
Man, tell me to fuck around and eat your big ass biscuit.
And even on Dateline, they have shit like, what would you do? They set up again. It's kind of like the bait thing, but of course it's not real. Like, the most recent one I saw is like two guys are, hey girlie, you're all at this bar alone. I'm like, hey, what do you mean you've never taken Adderall? Come on. And it's like, she doesn't have to take it if she doesn't want it, sweetheart. And the guy with the fucking plastic face comes out and, what were you thinking? It's kind of like that, but like on a bigger scale of, no, you have to say something and do something.
Plastic face?
Oh, have you never seen him?
No.
Yeah, no, he's somebody who went the Mickey Rourke way, and it's just,
Oh, I thought it was like he had like some sort of plastic thing on his
he's
face.
anonymous.
surgery?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Mickey Rourke, John Travolta. I haven't smiled naturally in at least 20 years. Looking motherfucker.
In at least 20 years, like a motherfucker.
Just scary. And he's the same guy, what we were talking about too, with the bait, what the guys in Brooklyn do, like, they try to look like a certain type of vulnerable person. Like we said earlier, the guy tried to look as gay as possible, and the girl tried to look like really dainty and, oh my gosh. But he also did the Catch a Predator.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like, it's hard to watch. It's really hard to look at a person like that and be like, you want to come in and talk? And like, what were you thinking? I didn't know, and I wasn't going to do anything. And it comes back to the big question of, all right, well, we've got a shed and a shotgun out back. See you later, perv. You were trying to fuck this 13-year-old boy or girl or whatever it is. Fuck, you didn't know. Why do you have wine and sleep aids? Well, I'm very thirsty and I have a bad, like, we all know. So it's like one of the big, I know we're trying to stay away from that topic of let's kill people, corporate punishment, but it's the same kind of thing. Like, yeah.
Let Rorschach handle that guy.
That's the other thing, we can go into Watchmen and the fact that that's probably the hardest to relate to because it has Dr. Manhattan.
Everybody else, aside from Dr. Manhattan, I could see. It's just like Dr. Manhattan sort of like turns it from being this movie about this guy who just used to be like a quote-unquote superhero who just gets offed, and then they're talking about the past of being a superhero and shit, and then Dr. Manhattan's in there and it sort of twists into a different realm of what this movie might have been about.
An extra up-loop-de-loop, just
Yeah.
Him and
he's kind
Ozzy.
of, yeah.
I don't know if Ozzy counts. He caught a bullet. That's
That
not-
counts, it's good reflexes. But what I was saying is, what the big thing of this is, and what the superhero documentary is, you're not cops. It's very hard to have a relationship in which somebody in a mask can work with the police, because you're not supposed to. That's my job. Like, it's just bureaucracy. The reason it is the way it is because it is. But in Watchmen, as he's explaining it, he's like, we were cops, they were robbers. They were robbers who put on masks. So we as cops couldn't catch them. So we as cops put on masks too. So men in masks took down other men in masks. When we all got back to the police station, it was, would you look at that? And it just kind of, that's how it kind of seemed to work its way in there. And in my opinion, that kind of blind eye of, we all know what's going on. I get how that started and led to a more like comedian kind of thing, and the fact that he kind of just killed a pregnant woman. Like, if somebody would have killed him, I don't know. It's just, we were talking about, can they exist in a super great assassin like that? Yeah, but he wouldn't just be on the street shooting people like he was when that Boogeyman song was going, like with rubber bullets or whatever it was. It's just...
Well, okay, we were talking about this before we started recording, and I was saying, like, the reason, like, certain superheroes wouldn't be able to exist. Like, Batman can't exist without him having a relationship with the police. Because as I said before, how the hell is he going to catch these guys, give them to the police, and the police are going to be like, okay, let's lock them up. All they're doing is he's just giving them a bound and gag person. They're just going to be like, okay, let me take this off of you. Who did this to you? Some guy in a mask dressed like a bat? We'll keep our eyes out for him. If we ever see him, we're going to catch him. We're going to lock his ass up.
I think that we came to the, in my opinion, agreed fact that in terms of comics, we're going to take Batman as the establishment point, where if you do break the laws, like just the tiny, like, I can be Batman if I physically train and push myself and somehow had the gadgets. Now, in our world, one person couldn't do that. So we kind of talked about, like, if all the worlds came together to make a Batman, he would be so good that there could be a Batman and we just wouldn't know. You know, that's basically what it would have to be to work on this planet.
Government
Like,
issued Batman.
yeah. And it's just people who are...
He would need help from the law. That's pretty much it.
It'd be like Men in Black, or the really good thing that I, to tie in Avatar. I don't know if you know it or not, but the Order of the White Lotus. It's just, we understand that there's a balance to things. And whether or not I am a firebender and it looks treason, and I'm not, there is a balance. So these guys aren't like, they just understand. It's for those big missions. I mean, the comic book based things of, if they do their job, we keep living and we didn't even know it happened.
What's awesome about that idea is that there wouldn't just be one Batman, there could be multiple Batman.
How many ninjas do you think are in this room right now?
37.
Maybe you're right. We would never know because they're good.
They're in the Red Bull fridge.
It's like I pull off my mask. I'm a ninja.
I'm a ninja.
wearing a full mask too.
Good to grab one too.
But yeah, in terms of that, so Watchmen, a Rorschach too, and would you want a Rorschach out on the streets? Of that like dog gets put down.
I feel like that's like the only plausible superhero that could actually work. A guy who goes out there, who finds somebody who's doing something bad, and number one, you can't trust that beating him up and giving him to police is going to work, because even if they do lock him up, there's a chance that he may get out again, and he may just start doing what he was doing before. So what you do is you kind of just off him right then and there.
It's like the Wolverine effect, and you have to have somebody who's very good at what they do. Somebody's got to be willing to plunge their hands into the muck.
Punisher.
It's it's just that anti-hero line of, he killed a lot of people. That's horrible. You know, he's a murderer. They were all drug dealers.
He's still a fucking murderer.
It's just like, when does that pendulum swing? They were all school children. What a monster. They were all drug dealers. Well, he didn't have to kill them. They were all about to kill the world. Well, I guess it's pretty okay that he did that then. Like, my ass was on the line. And, like, that's exactly what this thing does. And it's something that I've been trying to play with. And maybe something we should have said that we're looking at to begin with.
Actually have this chart here.
You can look it up online. It's very popular amongst different...
There's 9 boxes on it, and from top to bottom is your good being the top, bottom being evil, in the middle is neutral. From left to right, you got your lawful to chaotic, so order to chaos. And you have the very top, what is this?
That would be lawful good.
Lawful good.
And on the other side would just be chaotic evil.
Chaotic evil. And this is like we've
And
been like
everywhere in between.
bouncing it around of where certain superheroes would lie on this chart, as I said.
It is.
And
So the big thing is, and the thing that we could bring to you if you're not really sure of where we're going, Civil War was really big. Mm-hmm. And the biggest way to put that is Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. And they literally lie, and the entire battle would be between box 1 and box 2. What is lawful good and what is neutral good. And that's the fact that lawful good is we can't be above the law. We have to be registered and jump through hoops, and that's the only way. And Roger's like, that means we take orders. We have found out that the safest hands are still our own. Mm-hmm. And in a fight like that, who's right? So it's really hard to play somebody, and that's why we could find ourselves somehow connecting with villains and connecting with people who do the right thing for the wrong reasons, or the wrong reasons for the right things.
the right thing for the wrong reasons.
Yes. You know, the one big thing that I brought up, and I'm sure I could connect it to comics, but this is just so much easier. In Sons of Anarchy, if you watch the show, in a nutshell, they're gun runners. They're breaking the law. And the bad guys on the show are the ATF, the people who are supposed to uphold the law. But just the way that it's written and the way that we see that, in a way, it's they're doing the Red Hood. Mm-hmm. By stepping in and controlling evil, I am keeping it away from certain places. I mean, what do you think about that? You know, especially that under the Red Hood, when he's talking to Bruce, like, I've taken over the entire crime circuit. Like, I've done something you never did. And what I had to cut off a buttload of heads of lieutenants of the major crime bosses of smack dealers. Oops.
Well, I mean, that could also go back into the argument from Dark Knight, where how long does a good guy stay good until he eventually goes bad, sort of deal. Like, Red Hood just got himself a shit ton of power just by controlling crime. How long will it be until he just starts making crime himself? He's already cutting dudes' heads off and shit.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't really. He was just controlling the crime in a way that.
I'm saying how long until he actually just starts doing it himself. Like what kind of balance is he trying to uphold here? It's like, well, there still needs to be crime, so I'm gonna just let these guys keep going.
You can't wipe it out, but I can at least channel it.
Yeah.
But eventually his arrogance and just like he will eventually live long enough to see himself become the villain.
There you go.
You know, it's to bring it Batman full 360. It's exactly what he will do. Mm-hmm. And even in that term of like Ra's al Ghul, can you blame him? Like, is it that crazy of a thought? Like, yes, millions of people will die, but we've been doing it. Any time a civilization we've been doing this. This is what happens. It's natural order. You know, it's like Joker says later. If you tell them it's a part of a plan, it doesn't matter how crazy it is. It's part of a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh.
That was good.
Who would you like? Okay, so who are some of the people that we brought up? We brought up Captain America, who we agree would have been neutral good
Yeah.
because he still does things outside of the law.
And
the thing
can
is, he doesn't-
swing either
yeah.
way.
He doesn't. But he doesn't want to be tethered by like laws and the government and like I know when something bad is going down, I'm probably the best person to take care of it.
And because of who he is, I really do think he'd be one of the only people I trust that with. Because the thing to remember is Nick Fury also thinks he's that person.
Yeah.
Is he the chaotic?
There's like a million people who probably think like, God, if the world just listened to what I said. You know, and that's when there will always be men like you. It's basically
There'll
just
always
shut
be
up
men.
and do what I say. Yes, I just know better.
Yeah.
That's when it comes in. Like, if everybody just did that, is it? I don't know.
Well, that's. You look at it this way: Captain America is not trying to create a new world or change the world. He's just trying to stop crime and stuff like that. So it's like I know when something bad is going down, so I can go over there and take care of it. Whereas you have somebody who's like, there's always like fucking Loki. There's always men like you. He's trying to take over the world, even if his end game is to create order. He's going to create order through oppression. So you have to look at those sort of things when you consider these sort of people, like the intention behind what they're.
It's
trying
hard to ground them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to ground them and then keep them so above it as well. Because the other big one, and the fact then where this really becomes a mind fuck, in a movie that I think does it really good as well, is then Hancock, which I just watched, and it's kind of it's almost the way that we think that we'd want to be, but maybe we'd be better. You know, the big scene that we talked about is, if you don't get out of my way, I'm going to shove your head up your ass. And eventually he does it. We were talking about why wouldn't he just push himself through a crowd? It's just like, he said please twice.
Like I think one of the questions you asked is like, would he be considered bad for doing that, sticking someone's head up someone's ass? And I was resoundingly no thought about that. Yes, the guy is a million times stronger than the two dudes that he was dealing with.
They were
And-
so ill prepared.
And what he chose to do was, let me show you how strong I am by pushing you guys around now.
I wouldn't fully expose my powers.
He's Hancock, though. I mean, we have video of him
They already knew who he was.
throwing a whale into the ocean.
There's not a damn thing they could actually do to him.
But I believed him too in the fact that like somebody they take phone calls and
Usual
blah blah
ones.
blah, and it's like he doesn't put a bow on it, but he gets the job done. And there's that scene again from YouTube where he just put out an apartment building, so he comes down in front of the Jolly Ollie man. He goes, "You're like kind of half naked in front of this kid." He's like, "I just put out an apartment fire. My ass was hot." It's like, yeah, that's fine. Just
Get away from the kids.
not even. It's just like, did I look like my ass was hot, man? Can't I get one fucking break? I needed an ice cream. And then they go through the whole training with him for when they call, and he has this suit, and good job. I thought that was really funny, and thank you. Good job. Good job, everyone.
I have to watch that again. It's been a few years.
It really does kind of bring us a
I
weird...
remember enjoying it when I watched it in theater.
Do you think now, all right, well, the big scene, and while he's doing the good job, and to say of dominating his power, he's going into a bank where the main bad guy of it has a trigger switch, meaning if he lets go, people blow up. Hancock takes a disc like off the top of a light, uses his super strong nails to flatten out into a crisp blade, and he tries. And one of the jokes throughout the movie is, "Call me asshole one more time." Asshole. And he ends up cutting off his hand, throwing this thing like a discus and cutting off his hand. With that kind of super speed, shouldn't he have just kind of taken him?
Should he have just kind of taken him? I mean,
Pulled like a Superman, just like
Dude, yeah, but I just also agree with. I asked you, and in terms of this, you know, it's just like, why did you think you can out? I'm not. When there's YouTube videos of this man picking up a blue whale, and he's standing in front of you, you're trying to negotiate with him. He's fast, like the whole thing. Kind of. I guess that's the.
do we see him use super speed?
Well, he flies. Yeah, he can. Boom. And the thing that he does too that I love.
Oh, no, do you think he can actually go that fast?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then I guess, yeah, he probably should have just Superman. I'm like,
But I
no.
like the way he handles things. The opening scene, he does way too much, where he destroys all the bridge. But I think the best scene in the movie, and one that you're like, oh, that's fucked up, but that's funny, is the little kid who's bothering the little main kid in the movie. And he's a little French kid named Michel. And Will Smith
Jason
goes
Bateman was in
over,
that movie.
and he's like, hey, you know, you're going to have to lay off. And he's like, le petit SO? And he's SO. And Will Hancock gets really, really close. Call me an asshole one more time. And you see the kid, and the kid's a very good actor because I did him. And the fucking Hancock just boom.
Chucks him up into the
And
fucking
Jason gave, oh, cool, you're here. And he's like, all right, get inside. Get inside. Right. And then, and then catches the kid. And the kid goes crying away. He's fine. He's alive.
He's got taught his lesson.
Yeah. He got, and like when he throws the kid up, he looks at the kid. You got anything to say, Shades? Thickness? Just,
That's great. That's great.
or I think like that would be the superhero that we'd get. And it's just like, dude,
Well, the thing
not okay.
what I get from him is that he might be a person who woke up one day, like we were talking before, who had just gotten superpowers, but then who had been doing the super like power thing for a while. Like he just chose not to like. He helps people with his powers, but he's an asshole. Like, you can't stop me. Fuck it. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. So I'm gonna take these guys out as they're driving down a highway, however the fuck I want to take them down. Land in their car, just talk shit to them, pick them up, throw it on a fucking like the skyscraper or something like that. Because I can do that. I have superpowers.
And the thing that they go into in a different perspective that I can't say comics never touched, but it's like he's literally a drunk. And something that I've never heard or kind of seen is, and I could smell that alcohol on your breath. I've been drinking, bitch. Like,
Talking about Master Legend.
yeah. You know, when
Turns
him
out
doing
Master
better
Legend
and
does
having
have
to go to
superpowers.
AA while he's in prison and stuff, and just pass. And you hear the sad story of what kind of fucking asshole was I that I woke up and nobody was there to claim me. And you just realize too that it's just, he is an asshole. But I can see why almost. He's just trying to figure shit out the best that he can too. So what? He shoves people's heads up asses. They should have just moved. I'm fucking on that. Now to kind of bring it into this. Oh what?
The whole thing. I think. Fuck. I lost exactly what I was gonna say. I guess they should have just moved, but it's just him not being the bigger
Should have
man.
just slapped him really
True.
hard.
But that's the cool thing about Hancock is like, nope,
He's
I'm not the bigger. Like, he's the opposite of what Tasha likes in the Hulk. Is like, he spends his time running away from fights because he knows he will win. Like Hancock doesn't have to prove anything. He just wants to because I'm like,
fucking Hancock.
I said, please, I'm Hancock. Like, do you not understand? Like, I'm just trying to do me. Like, why do you think that this is going to go any other way than I want it to? And he thought he was going to be in jail for fucking 4 years. Like, I'm going to do this every day. Nope, your head's going up your ass. I bet nobody touched him again. Now, the one thing I want to talk about and get your opinions on, to try to bring full circle to this and keep it kind of balanced so I don't get myself lost. If Hancock was here, do you think we would get like a shining example of somebody who should bring us into the light? Or do you think we'd get like a douchebag kind of Kardashian style Hollywood glitz and glamour, like, you know, because he'd have to really deal with that here. Because obviously he'd be a national sensation. Get caught into that lifestyle, and it's just,
If Hancock was here, how do you think we would?
instead of getting woken up on a bench like he did in that movie, it's just like he's lying in some supermarket. It's like, don't you want to do this? How much they paying? No, none. Like, this guy has this girl. Like, don't you want to? I feel like that would be something that we would have to deal with. That the celebrity of it, yeah, that would fuck with anybody. I mean, we've seen what it done to little kids, to grown adults. People are like, I'm never going to change. Hollywood's not going to change me. And then all of a sudden they have so much money and drugs and power and, like, just this weird platform that we put them on. And they're like, I feel changed. It's just, I think that would be a big thing. And eventually would lead to the downfall of just, you should stay out of his way, or he might, like, super beam you.
Yeah.
We're out of cold brew. Another fire at Dunkin' Donuts today. Everybody should make sure to have some motherfucking cold brew on them, and it would just get tyrannical really fast.
Like he's someone who's actually doing the report too.
And back to me in the news station. Hi, me. Yes, thanks. Yeah, that's right, people. Let's get some fucking cold brew out there. I'm sorry.
So, do we think we get the guy who just got too drunk off his fame, or the other one? What other one? Or Superman?
It'd be
or
hard,
Superman.
yeah.
If it was like Hancock, someone who just got, I think we would like it would get somebody who just lets the power go to their head.
Sounds
Yeah.
bad.
I wouldn't want to give anybody powers, yeah. Unless it's like the secret underground Batman. We're okaying that project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You heard it, governments of the world. You can go ahead.
We know you're making Batman.
We know what you're doing.
Making Batman.
The one thing I
Making bacon Batman.
Making Batman.
That's the best video on the internet. Making pancakes, making pancakes. That's it. It literally is.
Pancakes, making pancakes.
The one thing I wanted to say too, I wrote on the other side of this though. Whoever the master, no, it wasn't Master Legend. It was the guy with the weird eyes, Justice guy. So they're doing the whole thing,
Mr. Extreme.
and they're like, yeah, you know, just trying to hand out, get the fuck off our property. Just comes out of nowhere. If you don't get the fuck off our property, like, get the fuck off our property, please. Get the fuck out of here right now. And he just turns around. Thank you for saying please. I was like, oh, I feel so bad that this guy lives out of his van. Thank you for saying please.
Taking it to the extreme. Thank you for saying please. I am making a difference.
That is literally like the most silver lining thing. This guy just fucking told me to please get off his, like, he was so angry. Thank you for saying please. I'm like,
There you go.
yeah. Damn, he got me.
So what the fuck did we want to say about Robin Hood or Zorro?
I guess Robin Hood and Zorro were just kind of put in there in terms of
Dudes doing something.
Actually, I would
it's
say
always been
I would
a
say like
natural.
probably when it was way back when we weren't so high tech and with our shit. Yeah, people do
That's
run out
kind
there.
of where it came from.
Yeah, Duke could run out there being vigilante and doing their own like justice and shit.
Pretty much all of this lawful crap couldn't really be proven, yeah. Where it's just like, didn't I have 30 pieces of silver here? Yeah. Well, now there's only 10. Check the videotapes. Like, nah.
Check the
Just Robin
check the
Hood came in and
fingerprints.
out. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I think that's where the idea came from of, like, really kings and queens living like Cersei Lannister, and it's just people dying. I think it's the idea that all of this comes from.
I think of people just living
But it
such a
can't
hard,
be done anymore.
living such a hard life that's like someone like, well, that's how you get people who start some sort of like militia to overthrow the government. People just have, okay, we've had enough. Let's take this guy down. Let's do something. You have Robin Hood's like, I've had enough. How about we do something?
Yeah.
In this day and age,
Too big.
the way you do something has to be on a scale that can deal with the people who are going to do something back to you.
And I think that Colonel Stars and Straps in Kick-Ass 2, the movie, said it perfectly up to one point in which I think we can all agree is kid deserves a hot meal. Drunk college girl deserves to get home safe at night. Then the third one, and personally I agree, maybe I'll catch shit, I don't know, but a pervert, a pedophile, they deserve a visit from Eisenhower, and it's the dog, and he's got a hot dog, and Schwarz, meaning if you're a pervert or a pedophile, my dog's gonna bite you in the wiener. I'm fine with that notion.
Yeah, I am too.
Cool. John Boy? Are you
Yes.
okay if perverts and pedophiles get their wieners
Yep.
bitten?
Yep, I agreed with Rorschach and Colonel Stars and Stripes.
Yeah.
Some dogs just get put down. Yeah.
And something that popped back into my head that I'm lucky that I can even bring around and maybe even finish if you want, is that in Kick-Ass, I think we found kind of like that perfect mix of the fact that it kind of is happening, but the bazooka blowing up and like the full thing of it, it's enough to say like these are real people, and like we said, there is some lines from the real life superhero documentary that are set in Kick-Ass, but it's the perfect balance. But when Kick-Ass is finding Mr. Fluffies in the first one, and he falls off the banister, tripping the guy who was running, allowing the three guys to catch up with him and kick the living shit out of this guy. And then the big battle comes, and it's the first thing that was caught on Kick-Ass. And it's going, and he's getting his ass kicked, lo and behold. And when the bad guy chases him and goes, dude, just walk away. You know, what the hell is the matter with you? He's got the baton. No, I'm not going. And he's like, what, are you stupid? Are you crazy? You want to die? And he's like, you want to know what's wrong with me? 4 guys laying into one dude while the whole world watches, and you want to know what's wrong with me? Yeah, I'm willing to die. So bring it on. He's like, fucking crazy, kid. But it is true in the fact that, you know, it kind of comes back, not to the giant level of Catherine Jennine, but under no circumstance, good or bad, like, should 3 guys be laying into one? It's just, that is, in my opinion, chaotic evil. There's just, come on, you know, it's just unfair to the limit of it.
Well, that's what I would. That brings me back to the whole Hancock point, where shoving some dude's head up another dude's ass. He has the power to do it. Why is he doing shitty things with it?
That's true.
So like you have 3 dudes laying into one guy. They have the power. They have the strength in numbers. Fuck it. Let's kick this guy's ass. And that's not.
Let's not give him a fair fight.
Yeah, it's not giving him a fair fight, and it's not
So
a very.
Hancock could really lie on that really big anti-hero
Yeah,
line.
it's not a constructive way to think. There's nothing productive about that thought process.
Like Superman could do that if he wanted to.
But he
Superman
chooses
can also
not
kiss
to.
you and have you forget stuff. Superman can
Maybe he
rip
has
off an
done
S and bind you in silicone. Let's not talk about Superman.
Could you imagine? You're just like, oh my God, Superman's Clark Kent, and he's just like. Not only do you not remember that he's Clark Kent, but you don't remember making that with Superman at all.
So the moment in Kick-Ass 2, that gets me again, is their fun little oath. And when they say it, I do get excited. When the cops can no longer protect and serve, be warned, mugger, heads up, perv. We got the strength, we got the nerve to give those in need what they deserve. Justice forever. And it's got like this really great answer. And like when you listen to it all, it's like, I can get behind all of that. Mm-hmm. To give those in need what they deserve. It's just, it's the closest sentiment to a superhero that we can honestly live out. And that is, if you see somewhere where you could help somebody, you should probably just do it, because that's nice. The little old lady at CVS is like trying to get fucking water into her car. Can I help you? Yes, thank you. Like, exactly. It means so little. But it's just like, I'm a superhero.
What they're basically saying is like, you don't actually have to be a superhero, Joe. How? Like you don't have to do the superhero things like beating up bad guys. You can just
Sell drugs to the community.
Yeah,
Go to a food shelter. Yeah.
Food shelter.
I mean, soup.
That type of shit.
Be a big brother, little big sister, big brother, if you can. Because honestly, like, one of the things
do it
that...
right, though. Don't be an ass.
Don't do the role models thing. Thing that we didn't get into, and just because you get messy and convoluted of what would you do if you woke up Superman? And just all that. It's number one thing that we can't do that I wish we could, but you could possibly do, is start to educate the young. I really do believe that teachers don't get enough credit sometimes. And somebody on another podcast I was listening to made a point of, we were talking about the younger pussy generation we're raising now. And that, it's probably just been said every generation. So that, how about we just like do it right? Take the time and just... It sounds too perfect, and of course that sounds right. You're the first... I don't know. That's kind of an end thought rambling of me.
Parents raising their kids?
Yes.
Oh.
Bringing life into this world responsibly.
Parents
What a thought.
raising their kids. That sounds like a idealistic society there, Nick. I don't think... Oh, you're treading on...
Science. Now we're really talking sci-fi. A man who could fly, like I could get down with that, but a responsible parent for an entire generation?
That's
No,
too
sirree. Pulled you right out of reality.
Nick, you're
Ooh, that's a little place to dark end too. Let's end a little lighter. I enjoyed this episode. Hopefully more coming like this. I think it's out there.
Yeah.
I really don't know anybody else talking about stuff like this. I thought it was kind of cool. Hopefully more coming at you.
Wu-Tang Clan coming at you.
Always. I have been Nick James.
Bobby Deuce.
And I'm John.